Alright, what are your favorite character ideas that you'll never play? Let us know in the comments below. One of my first character ideas was for a demon that ascended for being too benevolent for Avernus. Following an argument with a higher-ranking devil, he was stripped of his demonic abilities and exiled to the material plane. Now, he works to regain his powers and abilities, resulting in him being a fiend warlock who relies more on martial powers than on spellcasting. Before I knew about the Shadow Blade spell, I homebrewed a version almost identical to it. Today's sponsor is the best available. Come see these intrepid adventurers grow stronger and delve into the Dungeon of the Mad Mage in a lovingly edited and illustrated D&D web series. Link in the description. Well, I wouldn't say never, as I have played one of the following in a short adventure. A DM can dream for the other, right? An awakened dog. Custom lineage, unless you want to get fancy with homebrew. Oath of the goodest boy, paladin. Aw. Sworn to fight evil and receive scratchies. Bonus points if they serve the dog father, patron god of canines. Blessings upon Kibbles Tasty for the adorable homebrew. Also, a one-armed bearfolk or lizardfolk zealot barbarian, raised from the dead time and again in service to his god. With only one good arm, he uses Shield Master, a level in rogue for expertise in athletics, and his pearly whites to dominate the battlefield. Ask your DM nicely for an Eldritch Claw tattoo, and you'll bite ne'er-do-wells to death. My favorite is a Changeling Bard. Nothing crazy with the class itself, but the character idea is fun. Works as a mercenary to change history, writes songs and sings to common folk about deeds and wars that never happened, leaves new histories in libraries to sow doubt and discord, constantly changes their face, making it very difficult to track back to one person. If you had enough coin, they could sway the masses just for you. Their name? Retcon. Previous aliases, you might ask? Mary Sue. Red Actor. Really just have fun with these ones. Lots of potential in the right setting, but personally, I'm not a fan of Bard gameplay. So I probably will never bring this character to light. I have a newspaper reporter, Hestia Tribune, who is a spoiled, little, rich, girly girl bard. Race is to be decided, but probably either tiefling or fire genasi. She reported on something she shouldn't have, despite knowing it would piss off some very important people. Her dad, who owns the newspaper, arranged for her to be sent far away for in-the-field reporting, both to keep her safe and to, smooth things over. She's brash and annoying and very much the, I want to talk to your manager type. If you know Discworld, think, and I hate to pronounce this wrong, but I probably will, Saturisa Cripslock meets Adora Bell Deerheart. Over the campaign, she'd prove herself fiercely loyal and soften, at least to the group. The backstory would need fleshing out to fit within a campaign, and I just don't have one for her yet. Now, there is a chance she could be added to a Tomb of Annihilation game in the future, which would work really well, but that depends on another game I'm finishing first, which could run for a couple of years. Hey, nice game. Anything evil. I have a bunch of characters who are not murder hobos, but are actually evil in the sense that they are selfish, disinterested and good, have a disregard for life that really pushes past neutral. These characters are all very interesting, but I have zero interest in playing them. Examples. An ex-pirate barbarian who's now making his luck on land but is basically a bandit. A Talos cleric who helps people see the value in loss and destruction. I can build these characters, but I don't want to play them. I'd rather play good characters who might err on the side of brutality, but who are still clearly good in trying to better the world. Well, I actually kinda played him, but I honestly think I hyped him up more than the campaign's expectations could handle. He was a Goliath Bear Totem Barbarian. I know, real cliche, I know, I got it. And we were going to be a group of mercenaries in a continent at war. That campaign ended up being more political and exploration focused. We traveled through peaceful cities with people from different races, and none of them spoke common. I had to use speak with animals with a squirrel to be able to roleplay for an entire month. Eventually, we found situations where my character could shine, but if I had to speak in percentages, it was like 10% of the whole year-long campaign. Overall, I felt like I didn't really get to play him, and after that, we moved to Pathfinder 2nd Edition, so I pretty much never will. Props to the DM, though. It was actually a fun and interesting campaign. It's just that there wasn't a clear understanding of what we were supposed to do. I have a cool, beautiful idea for an ASMR light cleric named Aurelius II. Born a prince named after his great ancestor, who brought glory to the kingdom. In reality, this ancestor was bad, greedy, and corrupt. His father, the king, constantly reminded him of who he was named after. Also had a brother who wasn't much better, but his father constantly compared them. When Aurelius realized he would inherit the throne, he escaped, became homeless, hiding his true identity, was taken in by the church of a light god, prayed out of gratitude, and holy light descended upon him. People started saying he was the chosen one from an ancient divination. He was furious. He was tired of people defining him. He left the church, but he kept praying because he knew he could use his powers for good. He doesn't want revenge. He just wants to bring good to people. Yes, I know, a bad idea. Too dramatic, too complicated, and very unlikely I'll ever find a campaign to fit him into. A character I've been working on but haven't quite figured out yet. A Lycan blood hunter, but instead of a werewolf transformation, they have a dark fae spirit parasite. They are missing their right arm. When they go into hybrid transformation, the arm grows back as a cluster of dead bramblewood that they can attack with. As they take more damage, however, the brambles will slowly take over their body. Very on-the-nose name, but a reborn monk called Nihil, using the Way of the Void subclass from Corpus Malicious. A farmhand who dies and experiences the afterlife as an endless void. Brought back as a reborn, but the touch of the void has left a heavy imprint. It's the only thing he can remember. Since it's ingrained in his identity, he has learned to control and pull from the void. Yes, it's edgy, but it's still a character I'd love to play. Unfortunately, my table doesn't allow non-WotC content, so it'll likely never happen. I'm actually finally getting to play one that I've been holding on to for years. She's a Harengon artillerist based on Tanya, the Evil, and the Sisters of Battle. I really just found some dope art of a bunny nun with a morning star and flamethrower. Build-wise, I'm gonna do 7 levels of Ghost Slayer Blood Hunter, then figure it out from there. I have no idea what to do for her actual character, though. Who she is as a person, besides, zealotry and braggart. I don't know why this is so hard. I've never struggled with character backstory and personality before. Well, she is a bunny nun with a morning star and a flamethrower. You kind of got very, loose ethics there. I have a concept for an artificer alchemist who has been cursed. He brews his own potions to stay alive while he searches for a cure. It came from a game where I rolled stats and got a 5 for con. Unfortunately, the game never happened due to scheduling. But my second idea, a pixie artificer who uses a broken warforged as a mech. Over time, or levels, they repair the warforged, thus getting better at being an artificer and growing stronger. Now, I'm the DM for both games I have. Perhaps one day when I'm in front of the screen. I've always wanted to run a one-shot as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Everyone plays Turtles with at least 1 level in Monk. And I think Raph would multi-class into Barbarian, Leo into Fighter, Donnie into Artificer, and Mikey would probably just be a full-fledged Drunken Fist Monk. I think Leo might also dip into Paladin here and there, but yeah, just a teeny tiny little itty bitty bit. I've got a paladin warlock in the back of my head, but every time I bring him out, the game falls apart. I've never actually gotten to play him. The idea is Thor meets Venom. A warlock of a lightning elemental that Talos has sent after being grievously injured as a youth. The elemental keeps him alive, and he does the bidding of the storm god. They settle on a common ground of avenging those who are wronged instead of indiscriminately killing. Echo Knight Fighter with 2 alter egos, a pair of human twins. Whenever they spawn an Echo, the other twin appears. When they teleport, they switch material bodies. The Echo becomes materialized, and the original ascends to their spot and controls their spirit. Unfortunately, I am a DM, and only one of my players has a campaign, but he's really inconsistent. Another one of my players only runs pre-made one-shots. Echo Knight doesn't work in 5.5 edition, which is what we play, so I won't ever have a chance to play it. I've got a few. A rogue who is part of an organization that works for paladins. Why? Because sometimes they need someone to do the dirty work for them without breaking their oath. It does need a little bit more fleshing out before being played, however. A warforged monk. He was the first attempt the king made at creating an autonomous war machine. But through a bug or intent, he was given emotions. The king was furious because something designed for war shouldn't be able to feel. Oh no. He was discarded, but survived. Now he wanders, trying to find meaning in his life and hoping to free the war machines that came after him. An older man, a Tasha's ranger, whose chosen enemy type is undead. Worked as a grave digger and graveyard maintenance man for the last 30 years. But recently, some hooligans from a newfangled necromantic cult started using his graveyard for rituals. So now, armed with his trusty and rusty shovel, he's out to find the whippersnappers running the cult and give them a stern talking to about how much trouble they've caused him. Do you know I've had to bury Betty 6 times today, you little dickhead? Cirrus, the Emissary of the Deep Sea. A College of Eloquence bard of a homebrew race, a mashup of sirens and anglerfish. On a grand quest to learn about the surface world and return with as many facts and artifacts as possible. One small problem, however. They can't speak common. But that's not a problem because they possess an ancient relic of their people to assist them. The Vessel of the Void. A magic satchel with a direct connection to the abyss. For some reason, the surface dwellers just call it a bag of devouring. The character would be split between their words and actions. Cirrus is an absolute cinnamon roll, endlessly curious. The bag is harsh, but acts as Cirrus's voice and voice of reason. I want to play them one day, but I have a long line of characters I want to play more. Unless I lose like 5 characters in a row, I doubt I'll ever play them. Now, there are a lot of characters I probably won't get to play, but a few I don't think I ever will unless I fully flesh them out. A level 5 fighter knight created from the deck of many things. I forget which card, a knight, I think? Over time, they became a paladin by the time I'd play them. Maybe the original owner of the cards died, or the character sought guidance and found a deity that blessed them to continue. A water genasi druid named Kelda, Circle of the Land, Arctic or Coast. Lived alone in the wilderness for so long she can't remember her family. Got separated while traveling and ended up in nature. A tribe relocated near her mistook her for a river spirit. Rarely seen, always near the water when spotted. A flood happens and Kelda decides to help, saving people and building a barrier. The tribe accepts her, still calling her a river spirit, becomes friendly with them and realizes, well, she probably had a family once. Sets out on her own to find someone who remembers her. I may not play Kelda because I already play a water genasi with the same name, Lynn, who is a genie warlock under Merid. Lynn was originally going to be Kelda, but when I found the Genie Warlock subclass, I loved it so much I changed her whole story just to play the subclass. It worked out really well, so I don't really regret it, but I do keep Kelda's original concept in case I ever want to revisit her. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA checking in after the vid. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell. Let us know in the comments below what are some of your favorite character ideas that you'll never play. And of course, if you want to help out the channel, make sure to join our membership program. You do get early access to vids. And of course, you get to help us keep the lights on and the dice on rolling. We love you all. Please be safe, happy, and healthy in these dark times. And we'll see you next time. Toodaloo.